2, 3. Hi, I'm Marissa.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Nicholas, and this project is called Mr. Dips and the Dippy Crew.
In the Sound of Music project, we were tasked with designing and creating sound installations that use our knowledge of sound waves to create music or complex sounds. We had to come up with our own original idea and to find a new way to make sound interesting.
So this is our prototype diagram. So at the start of this, we were thinking of having 4 drums. So there'll be a big drum right here, and 3 smaller drums out in the outside. And these things right here are Dippy Birds. So what the Dippy Birds were going to do were they were going to hit the drum, and each head was in a different position, and they would spin. So the Dippy Bird here would spin around and then hit the small drum, and spin back and then hit the big drum again. So that was our basic design, and we had it in the triangle shape because that was the one that looked most presentable.
Here we have Audacity, where we entered 3 of our sounds that our final product makes. Here is our monochord sound. Here we have our tiny drum sound. And last we have our big drum sound. When looking at an individual sound, you can see that it is made up of tinier waves. If you zoom in close enough, you can see different parts of a wave. Different parts include the trough and the crest. The crest is maximum displacement a wave can go, and the trough is the lowest displacement the wave can go. If you're trying to find an amplitude of a wave, you can look at the resting period and compare it to the crest.
Frequency of a sound wave is how often the waves occur in a given amount of time, which is usually measured in seconds. This is called hertz. So for example, if there is a 30 hertz sound, that means that there are 30 waves in 1 second. A higher number of hertz means a higher pitch. So for example, our bass strings have a very low hertz, while our drums have a slightly higher amount of hertz. Dippy Birds work by having a low pressure zone in the top of the Dippy Bird, which causes the fluid to rise up to the top of the Dippy Bird. This is generally caused by the water in the top of the Dippy Bird evaporating, but it can be caused by anything, such as if you put your fingers on the bottom of the Dippy Bird, your body temperature alone is enough to cause the fluid to rise up to the top of the Dippy Bird, making it top heavy. Once the Dippy Bird becomes top heavy enough, it will tip over, breaking the siphon and causing the Dippy Bird to go back to its original state. For typical waves, you can see the wave move from one side of an object to another. However, for harmonic waves, the length of the wave matches up perfectly with the length of the string, so that you can't see the wave move at all. Harmonics are good because they sound better to the ear. Luckily for us, nothing is hitting our strings except for the Dippy Birds which are playing them, which means we will always get a first harmonic or fundamental wave. You can easily tell what wave a harmonic is by counting how many antinodes there are, which is how many parts of the string are moving the farthest away from each other.
So the way we designed the instruments was very particular for the Dippy Birds to play them. So our design has it set to be either a single string or a single drum head that's being hit at any given time. That's because a Dippy Bird can't really strum an instrument, so anything more complex the Dippy Bird wouldn't be able to accomplish.
We couldn't have completed our project without the critique of Dr. Victor Minces and Dr. Alex Khalil at UCSD. Our emails were extensive, and they helped the project a lot. We also got a lot of help from our peers.
Maybe you guys could move both of these on one side so that they can both sit up like this one can.
Okay.
For our final product, we decided that instead of having a bunch of Dippy Birds, we would have a few Dippy Birds moving around on servos so that they could hit multiple strings by turning around at random intervals. Here we see our lead Dippy Bird, Mr. Dips, playing a drum. He had to be specially outfitted with a hat that could hit the drum from where he was standing, as well as a backpack to counter the weight.
Sound is very random and unpleasant, while music is relatively ordered and very pleasant to the ear.
The Dippy Birds add an element of randomness to the sound that we're making because we don't know when they're going to hit the strings. Depending on how much water they have in their heads, it could be at different times. So what we're trying to do is make the notes that they are playing sound clean enough that hopefully it will sound like a randomized music instead of merely random sounds coming out of nowhere. I learned that you can't get more displacement on a string, or the same amount of displacement on the string, if you use a less amount of force.
I learned how to work as a group, and I also learned the meaning of sound.
I learned that Dippy Birds use something called the second law of thermodynamics.
I learned the difference between sound and music.
I learned how to find the harmonics in instruments. The art project, I want them to learn that even the smallest force can make a big difference.
I want people to learn that even if music is randomized, it can still be music.
What I want people to take away from my project is that Dippy Birds are useful for more than just dipping into water.
What I want my audience to learn is that even if a sound is not loud, it does not mean it isn't beautiful.
What I want the audience to learn from this project is that every piece in a sound installation matters.